Tell me, why do I have my rain slicker on?
Because it's raining like cats. It's raining frogs.
It's raining frogs. It is appropriate weather for this show because it's raining cats and dogs. I mean, it is. What have we had? 5 inches in the last 24 hours?
I don't know.
Another 5 to go. You see Jay Lerner the other day?
No.
There's a Canadian site that will, for $12.99, will do an IQ test on your dog.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, the results are, if you spend the $12.99, your dog's smarter than you. That was pretty funny. It's probably a real deal. Here we go. Marty Moore, when receiving shipment of semen, should it be tested for quality before performing AI? What's your take? Why or why not? Well, yeah, you bet. There's no downside to it. The upside is that if you've got poor quality semen, you're in trouble. And I mean, you know, all it takes, I mean, if you're doing this yourself, a microscope, if you're going to do much of this, go buy a microscope. Even a cheap microscope will let you look at semen to see whether 400x is good enough to really see what's going on. And, you know, after you've looked at a few samples, you get an idea of what it should look like. If you're going to your vet, I would recommend your vet does that, absolutely. And, yeah, so definitely do that.
I was going to tell you, it's 64 degrees. We were 90 plus degrees.
100 at the weekend, aren't we?
Yeah,
right.
just about 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's like winter all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, this is another one kind of relates to that one from a different person, young Cutty. I purchased a stud service, not from us, and the semen received was not good, so they did check it, less than good motility. I had no choice but to use it due to timing and only had one pup. I requested a different stud for the rebreed due to the motility issue and was told that it would be a $1,000 upcharge. Is this considered fair practice in the stud business?
Depends on the DNA.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is a difficult one. I mean, look, I mean, you know,
it's their price, you know.
The first thing is that you know, maybe there's some provisions, we have them in our stud contract, that if you only get a single cut puppy, that we're going to do some different things for you on the next round, basically in terms of a rebreed or cost and those kind of things. So, you know, you got to discuss this with your stud owner and read the contract. It may tell you what's going to happen in ahead of time. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's any you know, there's no standard practice to this. Everybody's got their own ideas about what's fair and proper. Jude Abelgas. Hey James and Tammy, when looking at puppies you have just produced, what sort of things in their structure do you look for that will help you decide if they will be handsome, beautiful when they are adults? Thanks in advance.
Look at the parents. I look at the pedigree, who the grandparents are.
Yeah.
I look at the puppy, you know. I see the puppy first thing when I'm looking. I'll see the puppy and I'll go, that looks good. And then I'll go, wonder what the parents look like. And who are the grandparents? And if I know who the grandparents are, I don't need to look at them because I'll know that if they're a good structured grandparent. But the parents and the puppy is what you look for.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 grandparents and just 2 parents. I think is more significant. I mean, or more information you get, the better. But I mean, first thing would be to look at the puppy, and also bear in mind that in a litter, 5 puppies, there's going to be some difference in those puppies. Now, and Tammy's got a really good eye for this.
Look at how the puppy holds its mouth when it reaches 7 weeks old. If you're seeing an older puppy, see how it's holding its mouth. See the bite.
Yeah. So this is another thing. You know, if you're making a choice at 7 weeks old, a lot of the puppies may have already been spoken. So then you're forced in a situation that, you know, somebody wants you to make a choice on a puppy when it's a couple of weeks old, and it's certainly harder to tell exactly what a puppy's going to be at 2 weeks old. So that's when the parents are really significant because, you know, look at the puppies in the litter, look and see what the difference is in terms of their size of their heads. I mean, if you look at Cody's last litter, 9 puppies in there, you can see it. They're beautiful babies, but you can see a difference, can't you?
Yes.
There's a couple of, now boys can have bigger heads.
It's because there's 2 smaller puppies in there, but they still have wonderful heads in there.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Size of the puppies. Do you want a small puppy or a bigger puppy? Depends on what breed you're talking about as to whether or not a small puppy's attractive or a bigger puppy's attractive. You can see that variation maybe at birth. But there again, you can have a puppy that's slow to start and he ends up being the biggest puppy of the whole lot. So I can tell you that it's not easy, and certainly, you know, knowing a little bit about the parents is helpful. Definitely
Very
helpful.
much.
Very
yeah.
much, yes.
Yeah. Look at the parents' bites. You know, look at how their jaw sets, how their lips in the front look. You know.
How big their ears are if it's a French bulldog, how flat their face is, how short their neck is,
But
how long their
there's,
legs are, how long a tail they've got.
You're talking about ears, they grow into the ears, but I mean, if they're extremely big, then there's something, all right. I make sure nose are short.
Star Louise, let's see if Tammy says about this one. Hey, I have a question. I noticed scabs on my newborn puppy's shoulders. Is there anything I can put on it? I put warmer on it, so I'm just a bit concerned. Thank you.
Newborn babies?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on?
I don't know.
Well,
There's
one thing I'm
some
thinking of is Mum's been noodling them a little bit, picking them up, and moving them around. Maybe.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, she said something about that. I mean, certainly scabs on a newborn puppy is like.
If she's talking about a scab where it looks like it's, you know, had a nipple, or is it dry, flaky skin? It's another thing.
Yeah, right. Look, I mean, I don't think warm water's going to help much. I mean, the one thing that I think that anytime you see any kind of a lesion or soreness or anything else, get some neosporin away. It's completely safe. Throw some neosporin on.
And then when they're about a week old, maybe you can give it a little quick bath with the warm water running over it, and put some Johnson's baby shampoo on it, or an oatmeal. Don't get it on their heads. Just, you know.
So you can use.
You don't want to get it in their eyes.
You can use Johnson's baby shampoo on a puppy that's just a day old if you had to, couldn't you?
Well, I don't think a day old.
Well, the important thing is, make sure you get it
Make
dry.
sure you get it good dry.
Yes,
but
good
make
dry.
sure it's warm water.
Yeah.
Test the water on your wrist like you would for a baby getting in the bath.
Yeah.
Or test an almond milk.
Yeah, if you're going to do any kind of washing of a puppy.
Don't fill the sink up with water and do it. Just let the running water slowly running water on that baby, warm running water.
And when you've finished, get a towel, rough them up with a towel, dry them off really well.
When they're that small, wash rag will.
Yeah.
A couple of wash rags will dry.
And a hairdryer. Because you will see a puppy shivering, and that's not a good thing. Any dog will shiver, even if you've got warm water and it's a warm day, it'll be shivering. Get it dried really well, and I would recommend.
You gotta be real careful with the hairdryer.
Yeah, but hold the hairdryer away with your hand there with it too,
Put it
right?
on the lowest
setting.
Setting.
Yes. If the puppy is my phone and here's the hairdryer, we're going to do it from over here.
Yeah.
On my hand as well.
Shake it like that. Don't hold it in one spot.
Yeah, move it around like this.
Shake it
on your
like
hand so you can feel it, so you know if you get too hot. Adrian Almasion. What to do when progesterone test keeps fluctuating? And they've got some numbers here. 1.3, 1.5, 2.0, 1.5, 1.77, 1.02. I bet you that's a young dog. I bet you that's a dog that's about a year old. That's a typical kind of thing to see in first, second heats in dogs that have not smoothed up their heat cycle. And their progesterone is literally doing this. And finally the numbers start going up and you get to the point that they're getting around, you know, maybe a 14, 15 or an IDEX where you can breed the dog. Still a breedable dog. I think that, I know. Success rate on younger dogs is the worst. I mean, we're something around 75, 78% on young dogs versus pushing 90 on older dogs. Lisa Del Cruz. It's been 3 days since the male and female have been mating and they still haven't got tied together. Well, I didn't say what kind of dogs they are. If it's a French Bulldog, step in and do an AI. Any kind of dog, you can step in and do AI. I've done AIs on German Shepherds and Labradors quite a lot. And for exactly that reason. You may have a shy female. You may have a shy male. You may have an over-aggressive male or female. They may not like each other. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why you should step in and just do an AI. That's what I would do.
I'm glad I looked down.
Alright, then we're going to stop this and find a gas station. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet.
I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.